Voter value, why picking the president is a right that not everyone is taking advantage of.
West Coast Conquerors, BYU's bringing home the hardware after a big win over the Zags.
And tagging trouble. Graffiti artists make their mark wherever they can, but not everyone is a fan. I'm Angela Montirith.
And I'm Anna Hayes. It's Tuesday, March 6th, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
It's Super Tuesday, and voters in 10 states are heading to the polls to make their choice in the Republican presidential primary. Renee Mars shows us why today's votes are critical and what we can expect to see.
Mitt Romney has momentum going into Super Tuesday.
Gosh, we just won our 5th state in a row with Washington State, which is good news.
Fresh off victories in Arizona and Michigan 1 week ago and in Washington State Saturday, Romney is hoping to break away from his rivals tonight. He's racked up endorsements from high-profile conservatives, including House Majority Leader Eric Cantor, which could boost his conservative credentials.
Well, Mitt Romney is really the only man in the race who has a plan, a bold pro-growth plan to create jobs and get this economy back on track.
But Rick Santorum, who hasn't had a win for nearly a month, believes he has a fighting chance in one of tonight's most important contests, Ohio.
I know all the establishment is, lining up behind the guy with the most money. But we have some courageous people here in Ohio who have stood by us.
Romney and Santorum are statistically tied in the state, which will most likely be an important battleground in November. The South will also be a major test for Romney tonight. Newt Gingrich is expected to score a win in his home state of Georgia. But if Romney does well in Tennessee, it'll be a sign he can rally conservatives to his side and has the chops to take on President Obama in November.
More than 400 delegates are at stake tonight, and the candidate who wins the bulk of the states will gain a solid lead over the other candidates.
18 to 24-year-olds are the lowest registered age group when it comes to voting. That's true in Provo, too. 11 News reporter Corey Aldis crunched the numbers for us. Now, Corey, are students even paying attention to the elections?
Well, not really. Some students say they're actually super busy with school, work, and general college life. With everything going on, apparently there's just no time to get involved in the election process.
President John F. Kennedy said one person can make a difference and every person should try. But actually getting students to vote is hard to do.
We had a city council race that was decided by 6 votes. So had 3 people changed their minds, that would have changed a city council election. And so it does. One vote makes a tremendous difference.
Any U.S. citizen over the age of 18 can vote. Some students say registering to vote shows they're willing to learn more about local and national government.
Drive into the school, there's a sign that says enter to learn, go forth to serve. And so I think it's our duty to, and the spirit of our school, to support those who are already serving us.
BYU College Democrats and BYU College Republicans are 2 groups on campus who take their jobs seriously. That job is to get students more active in the election process.
Opportunity there to really kind of analyze things and see who really is the best candidate. And that helps for democracy when we have people trying to think about things instead of making just knee-jerk decisions about their voting choices.
Getting informed is up to each individual student. Those who are interested can take the time to follow the election to become more involved in the presidential race.
Getting college students to become more politically active may be a difficult task, but the mayor says their votes make a difference. Registering to vote is actually pretty simple, and for those that are interested, they can take a look at their county website to find more information about how to do so.
Sounds pretty easy. Thanks, Corey. The State House approved an abortion bill that requires Utah women to wait 3 days before getting an abortion, the longest waiting period in the country. Utah representatives say the extra time helps women think the decision through, but Planned Parenthood of Utah says the government should trust women in their choices. The bill moves to the Senate on Thursday.
A new bill passed through the Senate that would have Utah opting out of federal health reform. If the House passes it, Utah will join an interstate compact regarding federal programs like Medicaid and Medicare. Senate Democrats say the move is too risky, endangering benefits for Utahns, and that the grants won't keep up with inflation. A Utah bill that would allow students to choose which high school to attend did not pass. Representative John Dougal says he wrote the bill in 2008 hoping it would improve attendance at both public schools and alternatives like charter and online schools. House members say they rejected the bill because they questioned the plan's logistics.
A car accident killed a Provo woman while she was standing on the sidewalk with her friends. A truck ran into a Jeep, which then hit 49-year-old Madeline Charrington. Paramedics took her to the hospital where she later died. The drivers have unknown injuries, and Charrington's friends were luckily able to avoid the Jeep.
Sad story.
Very sad.
Still to come on 11 News at noon. Art addiction. Are these spray paint masterpieces simply beautiful or causing more problems than just expensive cleanups?
And heart-shaped box. No, we're not talking about the 90s rock song, but we'll tell you about a stolen heart in a box when we come back.
Hope.
BYU Associate Athletic Director Dallin Moody addressed students at BYU's devotional today in the Marriott Center. Moody usually speaks about touchdowns and three-pointers, but today he touched on a different topic. He spoke to the students about facing trials and difficult times in their college careers.
In those times of trial, despair, fear, and worry, I say that is the time when the stage is best set for God to show forth His power. Indeed, it is often in the most dire of circumstances that God's arm is revealed most miraculously.
India is banning cotton exports. Iceland is suing its former prime minister, and a literal stolen heart in Ireland. This is your look at news from around the world. The cost of your favorite pair of jeans might be going up because India will no longer export cotton. The ban sparked supply concerns worldwide, and the cost of cotton imports to the U.S. rose 4.5%. The Indian government has not given an official reason for the ban, but analysts say India may be trying to protect their domestic market. Is a government official legally responsible for a bad economy? Iceland's former prime minister is on trial for failing to financially protect his country. He's charged with gross negligence in the banking sector crash 3 years ago. He's the first political leader to face charges for the economic downfall. Both he and his lawyer deny all accusations. And robbers stole a 900-year-old heart from Christ Church Cathedral in Dublin. Chaplains say St. Lawrence O'Toole's heart was locked away in a wooden box built in a chapel wall. The Catholic Church often preserves saints' body parts to keep their legacy alive. Police believe the thieves hid in the chapel overnight to get away with taking this 12th century treasure. And that's your look at news from around the world. Anna?
Salt Lake's expanding hip-hop culture brings with it an increase in graffiti. The battle over the popular form of street art has police and taggers butting heads. 11 News reporter Katrina Melentieva shows us what people in Salt Lake say the art means to them.
Police and cleaning crews hate this sound. To them, it means hours of cleanup and money wasted. This year alone, taxpayers will give up millions of dollars to help keep their communities graffiti-free. Brent Allender spends his days cleaning graffiti with pressure washers and baking soda and says his workload has increased dramatically.
2002, we did less than 5,000 sites in a year, and this just past year we did over 15,000 sites.
But local graffiti artists don't consider the costs. They say this art brings joy to their lives.
I just love opening a fresh can of paint. Such a rush.
Trains, warehouses, and empty walls. These are just some of the places amateur artists choose to tag. Others opt for a more dramatic delivery. This Beatles-inspired mural has lived in downtown Salt Lake for years without complaint. And artists say the graffiti serves more than one purpose.
It's probably the first international movement in art where it really wraps around the world. It has both a political role, and I think it has a virtuous side.
But this art is rare and turns into a problem when artists tag the wrong places. Graffiti artists say they only need a few cans of spray paint to create a mural the size of this one, but cleanup services say they need dozens of volunteers and more than 100 gallons of paint to remove it. So what do graffiti detectives think about this art?
Pick another addiction, because it is. I mean, it's an addiction like the kids that you don't see until they're 21 who constantly play at from age 5 to age 18 video games.
And getting caught could mean hefty fines and jail time.
Where I had a senior in high school who had a $450,000 Art Institute scholarship. And I had 9 felonies, which was 5 years to life in prison.
But if you just can't put down the can, police encourage artists to go to an authorized wall where spraying is legal. In Salt Lake, Katrina Malentieva, 11 News.
The city of Los Angeles alone spends more than $140 million each year dealing with graffiti.
A 12-year-old girl in West Jordan got a sweet birthday present. The first federal savings bank put a time capsule in a Salt Lake building in 1959, and inside the capsule was a $50 passbook, now worth $1,000. Organizers plan to give it to the first baby born in 2000, but forgot until recently. Now the preteen has a good start on her college savings account.
It's a nice surprise.
Yeah, super exciting.
When 11 News at noon returns. Sealing the deal. The women punched their ticket to the big tourney for the first time in 5 years.
Snack Centennial. One of America's favorite cookies turns 100 today. See what you can do to celebrate.
And we might not reach 100 degrees, but temperatures are warming up. I'll have your 11 News weather when we return.
So it feels like the weather is finally warming up a little bit.
Yes.
Are we going to get some more spring weather?
Yes.
At the end of the week?
We'll hit a little cold front, but it'll warm right up by the weekend.
Nice. Awesome.
Good news. Taking a look outside right now, we can see it looks a little cold, but looks are deceiving. If you step outside, it's actually pretty warm. We're hitting a nice 52 degrees today. The humidity is not high at all either, with a 28%. And our wind speed is a nice calm, 9 miles per hour. They're southeast winds, and they'll just be blowing right on through. Later on tonight, we can experience a drop in temperature. We'll hit the low 30s tonight, low at 31 degrees. We'll have some rain and snow, and our sunset is coming in later on in the hour than we're used to, 6:53 p.m., almost 7 o'clock. So as our days get longer, we can look forward to that later and later sunset. Yesterday was a beautiful day. We hit a nice high of 65 degrees. It was actually our warmest day of the year to date. Today, again in the morning, 52 degrees, really nice. What we have working here is the storm system here. It looks pretty scary. Don't worry, it won't be too bad. It'll pull south and east out of the state. What we need to worry about more are these winds, the 50, 60 mile per hour winds that are happening in the southwest of the state, mostly St. George. And as the storm system comes down and collides with those wind speeds, it won't be a pretty picture. So watch out if you're in the southwest part of the state. Also, the storm will hit central Utah, Provo, Salt Lake area, earliest 4 o'clock, latest 7 o'clock. Nothing too big to worry about. We'll get rain and snow. Today for Utah highs, we'll hit the high 40s, Logan at 46. We'll move into the 50s, move up to the high 50s, Salt Lake, Provo, and Nephi, 57, 59, 56. Cedar City, 60, and we'll round out our Utah highs with a nice 71 down in St. George. Now with their 5-day forecast, today they actually have a windstorm advisory going on today. They'll get that storm tomorrow, 49, low of 32, kind of drop in temperature. But take a look at this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They'll actually hit a high of 68 and a low of 39. Not too bad at all. As we go up to northern Utah, we hit the same trend. We'll get some rain and snow today. The snowstorm will come through on Wednesday. And if we look at Thursday and Friday and Saturday, I mean, we're hitting high 50s here, guys. High of 57, low of 35.
Nice. I'm excited for the warm weekend.
Yes, it'll come. It'll come.
Good. Thanks, Kika.
You're welcome.
So, Bridget, we had a huge win yesterday for our Lady Cougars.
Yeah, super exciting. Do you have the highlights for us?
We do. While it may be cloudy outside, next on sports, skies are blue for lots of sports fans here in Utah. Conference champs, BYU Lady Cougars upset Gonzaga to take home the championship title in Vegas. And road win. Al Jefferson leads the Jazz to a rare victory on the road in Cleveland. Sports is next. Stay tuned. Our Lady Cougars are WCC Conference Tournament champs after beating the Gonzaga Bulldogs yesterday. 11 Sports reporter Rachel Schwartz was in Las Vegas and caught all the action.
The BYU women's basketball team has officially taken over the West Coast Conference after dethroning reigning champions the Gonzaga Bulldogs 78-66 yesterday afternoon in the championship game. Cougars shot a season best 60% from the field, and senior Haley Steed definitely brought her A game to Vegas, playing 39 minutes for the Cougars and putting up 17 points.
Yeah, you know, people don't realize how lucky you are as a coach to coach somebody like that. That's why I'm going to convince her to come back next year, because I need her. You know, to me, she's Peyton Manning. That's what she is. She runs her team. She sets it up. She does whatever it takes. She hits big shots when you need them. She knows time to score as well as anybody, and people don't give her enough credit. She's a great defender.
Danny Peterson had the game of her life, shooting 8 for 10 and finishing the night with her first double-double of the tournament and a career-high 18 points. Peterson may have been the MVP of the game, but it was a heartfelt matchup for senior point guard Haley Steed, who's helped lead the Cougars on the court for 6 years.
Once I saw Gonzaga sub all their bench in, it kind of hit me. And then I saw Jenny starting to sub, and the emotions just came. I couldn't control it. It's all been worth it, everything that we fought through, and today was a special day for us.
The victory is an emotional one for the entire team. It's the first conference tournament title for the Cougars since 2002. The win doesn't just mean another conference title to put in the books. It means a sigh of relief for the women's team, who will get an automatic bid to the big dance.
Team effort, but it does feel good to finally play a great game to win a championship, because it's our goal, you know, to win this tournament and go to the NCAA tournament. So it's going to be so nice knowing on Selection Sunday that we can go watch as a team, knowing our name will be called.
After the buzzer sounded, Gonzaga head coach Kelly Graves admitted to the Zags simply getting beat by a better team. And the Cougars headed back to Provo with the title of West Coast Conference champions. At the Orleans Arena, Rachel Schwartz, 11 News.
Winning the conference tourney championship secures the women's team spot in the upcoming NCAA tournament. Our men's team, on the other hand, will have to sweat it out on Sunday to see if they get to go dancing in the tournament this season. And both Gonzaga's men's and women's teams made it to the tournament championship game, but both teams left empty-handed. On the men's side, St. Mary's scratched out an overtime win against the Bulldogs. The Zags were down by 3 with 10 seconds to go, and Elias Harris stepped up and drained this NBA range 3 to send the game to overtime. The score remained close through the extra 5 minutes, but the Zags missed some key shots in the final seconds, giving St. Mary's a 4-point victory and the conference tournament title. And believe it or not, it's already time for spring football. The Cougars kicked off their first of 15 spring practices yesterday. Players on both sides of the ball were energized, but the defensive line shined with multiple sacks. Riley Nelson only completed 1 of 4 passes, but last season's third-string QB James Lark showed his skills, completing 4 of 5 passes.
Still to come on 11 News at noon. Bodacious birthday. Find out how Oreo cookies are party rockin' after 100 years. We'll be right back.
Happy 100th birthday to one of America's favorite cookies, the Oreo. It's been a century since the cookie's birth in a Manhattan biscuit factory, and people are celebrating with limited edition birthday cake Oreos. Oreos are sold in 100 countries and have a Facebook following of 25 million fans. Oreo says cookie lovers everywhere should set their inner kid loose today by twisting, licking, and dunking some Oreos in a glass of cold milk.
And we can't resist a good Oreo. So in honor of the birthday, our producers have given us some Oreos to enjoy.
Perfect.
How do they taste, Bridget?
Delicious. Always. I love just like letting them sit, you know, and get really soggy before I take my bite. It's the best for me.
That is the best.
Well, I'm one of the weird ones that likes the cookies more than the frosting.
What? No.
I know.
These are double stuffed. I like the frosting.
They're good no matter what. That's 11 News at noon for Tuesday, March 6th.
You can join us anytime on our website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching and have a great afternoon.